Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new series here that we're going to be calling the New Player's Guide to Rust Power. Now, with the announcement of Rust Power Search being released on February 23rd, I decided to make a series kind of like a new player's guide to introduce you guys into the Rust electricity. I know there's a lot of videos out there and they could be a little bit scary because it's kind of a lot to take in. So I'm going to try to break this down in the next couple of videos to as simple as I can, honestly, to try to like make you guys understand and why Rust Power is actually a huge thing that could actually change your wipe from either breaking it or making it. Now, we're going to talk about today we're going to be focusing primarily on power sources. So what do I mean by power sources? These are the things or items in the game that you're going to be using in order for you to collect, not store, but collect the power and then eventually store it into a battery in order for you to use it for your electrical needs, or your electrical needs, I should say. Jeez, yeah. So let's just start off with crafting. Now, anything that has to do with power or any sort of electricity type things, you're going to be learning it out of Workbench 1 and a Workbench 2. Now, if we come over to the Workbench level 1, if you go over here, you open the tech tree, you can see right over here, you're going to see everything is literally kind of everything you're going to need, which is the switch, the small battery, the large solar panel. Almost everything is here. You know, you got your electrical heater and your button. Everything is kind of here. Now, if you go over to the Workbench level 2 and you open the tech tree, you're going to see things over here like the medium battery, the small generator, which is actually what we're going to be talking about. This is one of the power sources, along with other stuff like the solar panel, and lastly, our wind turbine. You can see we kind of learn everything in here, so it's not that expensive. You could learn it, you could craft it, but obviously these things are going to be expensive to craft, but we'll get into that in a second. So let's just start out with the very first one, which is the small generator. Now, a small generator could hold up to 500 fuel, or I should say low grade. Now, obviously 500 because that's as high as you could stack low grade. But when it comes to the power generator, or I should say the small generator, it's going to be quite the penny in order for you to craft it. For a solo player, this could be quite the penny. For somebody who's, you know, a Zerg and things like that, this might not be too expensive for you. But a small generator, you're going to require a Workbench level 2, as we saw, and it's going to cost you 5 high quality metal and 2 gears. Now, 2 gears, you might be saying, oh, that's not too expensive. 2 gears could be a garage door, and that could be a big change for a solo player, but for a duo, trio, or even Zerg, it's nothing. Now, you could also buy a regular small generator from the outpost for 125 scrap. Now, you might be wondering, well, 125 scrap, 5 quality, what's the use of this? Why do I need this? Well, it's very easy. This is going to output a steady output of 40 power to anything. Nothing less, nothing more. 40 power. Now, you might be wondering, well, 40 power for how long? Well, good question you ask. It's going to use up 4 fuel or 4 low grade per minute, giving you, so if you put 500 low grade in here, it's going to give you 2 hours worth of power. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, that's a lot of low grade. You could use that for other things that are way more useful, like med pens and among other stuff that you could really use low grade for. Now, you might be wondering, well, why do I need this? So the only really use that I could see you using the power, or I should say the small generator, is going to be as a backup. Something that you're going to be using in order for you to kind of supply your batteries with extra power in case your other things or other power sources like wind turbines and solar panels failed on you. So that's literally the only reason why I would see this useful. Another thing that I could see this useful for is for something like this. You could slap down like a pressure plate, and then, you know, you could kind of connect the pressure plate into the actual force start right here. You could connect that, and then obviously you could put a rug over this to kind of hide it, and then you could make this into a trap. Somebody walks in and then they step on the pressure plate, it turns it on instantly, and the trap is now on. And it's just gonna, you know, murder the person if this is a trap. And as you can hear, it stays on because we didn't really put a force stop at all. If you connect that to the other end, obviously it's gonna stop it. But this is the only other reason why I could see this maybe working for like trap bases Otherwise, I don't really see this working. It's kind of expensive to run it, and it's kind of expensive to buy one. I would just say have this as a backup in your base, and that's about it. Now, moving on to our next power source, solar panels. Now, it's basically what it says on the name. It's going to collect sun power in order to, charge up your batteries. Now, I have something right here called northwest and southeast. Now, you might be wondering, what do I mean by that? Now, like I said, the solar panels are going to be collecting sun. So the way that Rust works is that, if I'm not mistaken, I think the sun comes out in the north and sets in south. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on that, but I could have sworn it's like a weird. It doesn't really open on the east and sets on the west, even though you might see it that way. But that's not how it actually it's doing. All you need to know is that if you want to get the maximum amount from your solar panels, you want to place this facing northwest and southeast. That way, you're getting the maximum amount of power from these solar panels. Each solar panel is going to give you about a maximum of 20 power. So 2 is going to give you 40, 1's going to give you 20, but it's not always going to give you 20. It's going to not always do that. Remember, it depends on where the sun is located. Like this solar panel right now is giving me 20, so the sun is right above it, it's collecting 100% energy, while this one is only giving me 33. And mind you, there's 2 solar panels right here. So that means that this one is giving me 20, and then this one, it's only giving me 13. So the sun is right above it, and it's kind of like going over. So this is what I mean by, you want to place these things facing a particular way. Now, for solar panels, if you're going to craft them, you're going to need a workbench level 1, and it's going to cost you 5 high-quality metal and 1 tech trash. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather save my tech trash for making it into scraps to learn other things, or just if I'm at that stage in time, crafting some C4. Otherwise, I don't really see this as a useful thing to craft. Now, if you really want solar panels, there is a cheaper way for you to get. If you go over to the outpost, there's actually right here, in order for you to craft, or I should say, in order you could buy a solar panel for 75 scrap. It only costs you 75 scrap to buy 1 solar panel. So 2 of them, it's 150. And that's all you really need for a solar player. It's going to give you 40 charge. And that's all you're really going to need. Now, when we talk in the next video, we're going to talk about batteries. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Now, if you could find solar panels on crates and stuff like that, but it's kind of rare. If you want a more secure thing, just go over to the outpost, buy it. Or if you happen to get a blueprint or something like that, then that's up to you if you want to learn it. As you saw, it's kind of expensive. I would even say for some, Zergs, they're not going to want to use tech trash per solar panel. It's not kind of worth it. Also, solar panels can be destroyed. You can see they only have 100 health. You could pick back up a solar panel. That's a thing as well. But it's going to take damage like most stuff on Rust. You could pick them up. So if you ever place this incorrectly, you could always pick it right back up and replace it and then just kind of fix it. Okay? Now, moving on to our next power source. Our next power source is going to be the wind turbine. Now, when it comes to the wind turbine, this is a very unique thing. This is the only time that I could see a wind turbine being used is to power some large batteries, or just you have a lot of turrets, a lot of things, a lot of electricity, and the wind turbine will be your help. Now, what do I mean by high equals plus and low equals minus or going down? The wind turbine is unique in a sense that the higher you place it, the more power it generates. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the wind turbine could generate up to 150 power. That is a lot of power. But that's the maximum it can output, and it differentiates throughout the day depending on the wind and how high it is. As you can see, this is only 1 high, and I'm generating a 97. It's 9, and it started at 90 when I started talking. Now it's at 90 or 87. 87, 97. No, that's 87. So, like, it's going to go down throughout the day, and it's going to go up throughout the day as well. Now it's at 84. See, 84. So just think about that. And then obviously this one's 4 high and it's going to place more. You can see is 95. So as you can see right here perfectly, the higher it is, the more charge is going to give you. So this is why I see, or you see a lot of the Rust PC Zergs have like 3 of these. That is a lot of power. And if you're charging something like a large battery, it has a max output of 100. So I could see why you need to input more than 100 charge in order to charge a large battery. But we'll talk about batteries and charging in the next video. But yeah, so as you can see, the higher it is, the more charge you're gonna get out of it. Now, you might be wondering, well, where do I get one of these things and how much it is to build one? Well, in order for you to craft one, you're gonna need a workbench level 2, and it's gonna cost you 500 wood, 10 high quality metal, 3 gears, and 3 metal sheets. This doesn't seem too expensive even for me as a solar player. However, in order for you to buy one, you need to come to the actual abandoned camp and you need to go over to the building supplies. And one wind turbine is going to run you about 500 scrap. That's as much as it costs in order for you to learn an AKVP. So this is kind of something to stay aware of. Maybe this is something you might want to find. You could obviously find this in elite crates, military crates, and stuff like that. So for Zergs, I would say it's up to you. You guys know what you're doing. So if you want to learn it and craft, mass produce these stuff, that's up to you. We'll talk more about power and, and stuff like that as we go on. But as a solo or even duo or trio, I would say stick to solar panels. Don't really focus too much on wind turbines. I feel like this is an overkill for medium to small size bases. Wind turbines, I could see them being more for like Zerg big bases. Otherwise, I don't really see the point of these things at all for like a small to medium size base. Now, with that said, that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was very informational. I kind of ran down over our 3 power sources on Rust. I kind of also told you guys where to get them, where to buy them, or how much it's going to cost you to craft them. Tune into the next video where I'm going to be talking about things like, I'd like to call them power storage, which is going to be batteries. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. Otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoy. I hope the videos are going to be helping you through your future Rust career on Rust Power. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.